My name's David. I loved my wife with everything I had. I really thought she loved me back, but then I lost my job, and that's when I learned the truth. She didn't love me. She loved my title, my paycheck, my status. The cruel part, she had no idea that on the very same day I lost my job, I also won the lottery. I was planning to surprise her, but instead, she surprised me. That night, I sat on the curb right outside our house. My keys dangled from my hand. My eyes were just empty. My whole world hadn't just shifted, it cracked wide open. I kept replaying it in my mind, the way I thought it would go, her reaction, the look on her face. I pictured her running to me, laughing, hugging me through tears. I imagined us dancing in the kitchen, maybe planning a spontaneous road trip. I built this whole moment in my head, a celebration of love, of survival, of new beginnings. But none of that happened because the version of her I believed in wasn't real. In reality, reality had other plans. I wasn't rich, I wasn't famous, but I worked hard. I came home early, and I loved my wife with everything I had. That was my life. Simple, solid, built not on luxury or status, but on consistency. I was a manager at a mid-sized construction company. Been there almost 10 years. I liked my team. I liked my routines. Even the bitter office coffee tasted right after all those years. It wasn't glamorous, but it felt good knowing I could take care of us. Our house wasn't much either. The floor squeaked, the windows rattled in the wind, and the backyard barely held two lawn chairs, but it was home, and I loved it. Every morning, I'd wake up before sunrise, kiss my wife on the forehead, and sneak out quietly so she could sleep a little longer. Fridays, I'd bring home her favorite pastries. Little things like that mattered to me. Sometimes she'd call me at lunch just to say hi, just to hear my voice. Or at least she used to. I thought we were partners, real ones, the kind of couple that sticks it out no matter what. She used to say, "I don't care about money, David. I just want us to be together." And I believed her. Maybe I shouldn't have. We were married for almost 12 years. We never had kids, not because we didn't want to. We tried. Miscarriages, hospital visits, silent nights filled with aching. But we held each other through all of it, or at least, I thought we did. I used to tell her, maybe we're not meant to be parents. Maybe we're meant to be something else, something unbreakable. I really believed our love could survive anything. But I was wrong, because love built on conditions isn't really love at all. And I would learn that truth the hard way, on the day I lost everything and won more than I knew what to do with. I remember the sun felt too bright that morning. Stopped by my favorite diner for breakfast, 2 eggs, black coffee, burnt toast. Same waitress smiled at me and called me sweetheart, like always. It felt like any other day, but it wasn't. Just as I got to the office, coffee in hand, I got the message. My manager wanted to see me. The hallway felt longer than usual. My palms started sweating. Something deep in my gut told me this wasn't just a check-in. He didn't even look me in the eye. "David, I'm sorry. The company's downsizing. You've been an incredible asset, but your position is being eliminated, effective today." Just like that. I didn't argue, didn't beg, just nodded, packed my things. The whole office felt like it was watching, some with pity, some pretending not to. I walked out with a cardboard box and a heart full of silence. When I got to my car, I just sat there. No music, no movement, just stillness. And I wasn't even thinking about the bills or what came next. I was thinking about her, how I'd tell her. Would she cry? Would she hold me? Would we order takeout and talk like we used to, like partners? And then I remembered the ticket stuffed deep in my wallet, crumpled with a coffee stain in the corner. I had bought it 3 days ago at the gas station. Just because, I pulled out my phone, opened the lottery app, entered the numbers. One by one, they matched. My hands started to shake. My breath caught. I checked again. And again. I had won. Not hundreds, not thousands, millions. I didn't scream, didn't cheer. I just leaned back in the seat, tears blurring my vision. In one day, I lost everything and gained everything. And the only person I wanted to tell was her. I pictured her face, the joy, the relief, us dancing in the kitchen, planning our future. This was going to be our story, the one we tell for the rest of our lives. But I didn't know. Our story had already ended. I drove home slowly, rehearsing my words in the mirror, ready to make her smile again. I pulled into the driveway, took a deep breath, and walked in with a heart full of hope. But the moment I stepped through the door, something felt wrong. She didn't greet me, no, "Hey honey," no warmth, just the sound of a spoon in her mug and the hum of the TV. She was scrolling on her phone at the counter, didn't even look up. "Hey, can we talk for a minute?" I asked. She sighed, didn't move. What now? I tried to stay calm. I got laid off today. Company's downsizing. She looked up, finally, but her eyes were sharp, cold. "You what?" "They let me go, not just me, a lot of us. I'll be okay, So what now?" she snapped. "You expect me to take care of you?" My throat tightened. "No, I've got savings. I'll find something. It's not you." "Unbelievable." She shook her head, arms crossed. "I married a man with a future, a man with a plan, not someone who's going to sit around waiting for handouts." Each word sliced through me, and all I could think about was the ticket in my pocket, the tiny slip of paper with the power to change our lives. I could have pulled it out. I could have said, "We're rich. You'll never have to worry again." But I didn't, because the way she looked at me when she thought I had nothing, that was a truth I couldn't unsee. She didn't just walk out of the room. She walked out of the moment, left me standing there, heart cracked open, and I knew no matter how much I had just won, I had already lost her. I didn't yell, I didn't cry, I didn't chase after her. I just stood in the stillness, feeling everything and nothing all at once. Then I turned and walked upstairs. The floors creaked beneath me, the same ones that once made this house feel alive. Now they sounded like an ending. In our bedroom, I pulled out a small suitcase, took my time, folded everything carefully, not just clothes, but pieces of memories, birthdays, Sunday breakfasts, quiet movie nights. She didn't come upstairs, didn't ask where I was going, didn't care. I paused at the nightstand, a photo of us, smiling, arms around each other. 5 years ago. I stared at it for a long time, then slid it into the side pocket of the suitcase, not to keep it, but to remind myself that even the brightest smiles can hide the deepest cracks. Before I walked out, I reached into my back pocket and touched the lottery ticket, still there, still real. I went downstairs, passed through the living room. She didn't look up, just watched TV like nothing had happened. I stood at the door, hand on the knob, thought about saying something, anything, maybe goodbye, maybe you'll regret this, but instead, I opened the door and walked out, quietly, calmly, because when someone stops seeing you as a person, you stop trying to prove you matter. I loaded my bag in the car, sat in the driver's seat, and breathed. No destination, no plan, just me, and in the truth. I had lost my job, I had lost my wife, but somehow I had finally found myself, and I wasn't going back. The motel I checked into was the kind of place you don't talk about. Faded red bricks, a flickering neon sign. Room 14 smelled like old cigarettes and lemon cleaner. But for me, that little room was a sanctuary. I dropped my bag on the bed, sat down, and stared at the wall for what felt like hours. No TV, no phone, no noise, just silence. And for the first time in a long time, it didn't feel heavy. It felt like healing. The night, I didn't even look at the lottery ticket. I wasn't ready to think about money. I needed to figure out who I was without it. So I sat in that room with my thoughts, raw, painful, messy thoughts. I thought about the man I had been, the husband I had tried to be, and the version of love I had believed in. I cried, not loud, not dramatic, just quiet tears on tired hands. And the silence, It held me. The next morning, I woke up early, no alarm, just instinct. I stepped outside, let the cold air hit me like a reset button, walked down the block, found a diner, ordered eggs and black coffee like nothing had changed, except everything had. Later that day, I stopped by a dollar store and picked up a notebook and a pen. Nothing fancy, just a place to start writing again. I wrote about the layoff, the silence in our kitchen, the look in her eyes when I told her the truth. And then I wrote about the ticket, not just what it was worth, but what it meant. A door, a choice, a second chance. That week, I started rebuilding in small, quiet ways. I donated to a local food bank. Anonymous, paid off the medical bill for a family I overheard crying in the motel lobby, and I started to remember what it felt like to help someone without needing anything in return. Every night I'd sit by the window and watch the sunset fall behind the rooftops, and I'd write. Not everything was good, not everything made sense, but I was breathing, I was moving, I was becoming again. The money gave me options, but the solitude gave me clarity. And that's when I realized I didn't need her to come back, because I didn't need revenge or validation. I just needed to keep becoming the man I was always meant to be. A little over 6 weeks had passed since I walked out that door. I had found a rhythm again. Mornings were slower, peaceful, coffee, walks, journaling, giving quietly, without expecting thanks. Then one morning, I was sitting by the window sipping tea when my phone lit up, a number I didn't recognize. I let it ring. Then it rang again and again. Eventually, I listened to the voicemail. "David, it's me. I heard about the lottery, about everything. I'm so sorry. Please call me, please." Her voice cracked at the end. Not with love, with panic, not the kind of panic that comes from missing someone you love, but the kind that comes when you realize you made the worst mistake of your life. I stared at the phone for a long time. She knew now, but not because I told her, not because she asked, because someone else did. Doesn't matter who. What mattered was now she wanted to come back. I didn't journal that day. I didn't walk. I didn't even breathe right. I just sat and remembered. I thought about the way she used to laugh at my jokes, how she'd wrap her arms around me while I made coffee, the sound of her voice when she was happy, and I thought about that night, the disgust in her voice, the cold in her eyes, the silence when I walked away. She had shown me the truth, and now she wanted to rewrite it. Over the next few days, the messages poured in, paragraphs, missed calls, late night voicemails. "I miss you. I was scared. I didn't mean it. Please, let's talk." Some were tearful, some were angry, some sounded like her old self. But I didn't answer. Not because I hated her, not because I wanted revenge, but because I had finally found peace. And peace is something you protect. Even from the people who once lived inside your heart. She didn't lose me because I lost my job. She lost me because she gave up on me when I needed her most. Now I had everything, and for the first time, I saw it clearly. I didn't need her apology. I didn't need her explanation. I just needed to keep walking, alone, but whole. If someone ever left you when you were down, if someone made you feel like you were only lovable when you had something to offer, then maybe this story is for you, because I've been there. I lost everything in one day, and then somehow I gained more than I ever imagined, but none of it, not the money, not the silence, not even the peace, meant anything until I learned to let go of the hurt, let go of the expectations, let go of her. But most importantly, I forgave, not for her, not to open the door again, not to fix what was broken. I forgave her because I couldn't carry the pain anymore. Forgiveness isn't weakness. It's the quietest, strongest kind of strength. It doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending it didn't hurt. It just means I chose to stop bleeding from wounds she no longer touched. She called. She left messages. She wanted to talk, but I didn't respond because she made her choice and I made mine. I used that lottery money not to punish her, but to rebuild me, not to impress, but to live. I built a life I loved waking up to. I helped strangers who never knew my name. I found joy in the quietest things: a sunrise, a kind word, a journal entry that didn't end in tears. And one day, I woke up and realized I was happy, not rich, not powerful, just truly, deeply, quietly happy. So if you're watching this right now and your heart is heavy, if you've been betrayed or left behind, I want you to hear me clearly. You are not what they did to you. You are not defined by who left. You are worthy of love, of peace, of beginning again. Forgive, not to forget, but to be free. Because you'll never heal holding on to what broke you. This is my story. But maybe, just maybe, it's yours too.